This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Dame Jane Campion stars at the Oscars for The Power of the Dog, shining a spotlight on Otago. The Otago Regional Council blames bad press for a struggle to attract new staff. And on a mission to knock out the long-term effects of sports concussion in Southland. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Dave Gooselink. Dame Jane Campion's latest movie, The Power of the Dog, was tipped as a favourite ahead of this year's Oscar Awards, gaining 12 nominations. On the day, the film, largely shot in Otago, had to play second fiddle to big-budget Hollywood productions, including Dune and Steven Spielberg's remake of West Side Story. However, Otago's film industry remains excited about the flow-on effects of having a major production filmed in our backyard.
From filming around Otago during 2020 to being one of the frontrunners at this year's Oscars. The Power of the Dog finishing up with just one Oscar on the day. Dame Jane Campion taking home Best Director, the first woman to win the award twice.
Kia ora, Aotearoa, New Zealand and Australia. I love directing because it's a deep dive into story, yet the task of manifesting a world can be overwhelming. The sweet thing is, I'm not alone.
Anthony Deaker from Film Otago Southland says having the film shot here is excellent for the region, boosting its stakes with both audiences and producers. Today's Academy Awards ceremony, promotion that money can't buy.
The outcome of the Oscars today will be another major block in terms of the credibility of the country and of our region in particular to operate at that high level.
The Power of the Dog was one of a range of productions shot during the time of COVID, the pandemic having a major effect on the screen industry across the globe. Deaker welcomes movie productions to Dunedin and the Greater Otago region. He's expecting more approaches from film producers following the Oscars and as New Zealand's borders reopen after COVID.
And the timing is great for the industry regionally and nationally with the opening up of borders again. That this couldn't be better timing. If this is a major endorsement of filming in the region, and the news is that the borders are opening up again, then we're really back on the map as a strong option.
The Power of the Dog leading man Benedict Cumberbatch says the remote landscapes and locations added their own character in a bit of cinematic synchronicity.
To be surrounded by that and to have a cultural relevance to that, a language of landscape, there was just such synchronicity. It just all felt like it was meant to be.
Kirsten Dunst missed out on the award for Best Actress in a Supporting Role to Ariana DeBose of Steven Spielberg's remake of West Side Story. But in an interview with the New Zealand Film Commission, she said she loved her experiences in Aotearoa.
Well, I remember the first time driving up on the South Island to that ranch. I was blown away.
Anthony Deaker says regardless of the final Oscar count for The Power of the Dog, the movie's raised the profile again of New Zealand's film industry, with several projects looking at filming in Otago. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Otago University is adding 4 extra graduation ceremonies to its schedule this year to catch up on a backlog due to COVID-19 cancellations in 2021. Those cancellations saw some students dressing up in gowns last December for impromptu graduation celebrations of their own in North Dunedin. Otago University has now scheduled 2 extra ceremonies at the Dunedin Town Hall in May for students who didn't get to graduate last year due to COVID-19. It's also planning another 2 ceremonies in August, with the possibility of adding more events if there's enough demand. Representatives from Dunedin's accommodation and hospitality sectors say the ceremonies would provide a much-needed financial shot in the arm for the local economy. The Otago Regional Council's Chief Executive says the organisation may be hampered in attracting staff and contractors, and she says it's due to undesirable media coverage. Recent council turbulence includes an investigation into staff actions during last year's Clutha River dumping scandal. Council CEO Sarah Gardner says in her report there are times when media coverage is not as desirable as it might be. Staff vacancies are increasingly hard to fill, with at least one applicant pulling out due to adverse media reports about the ORC. Gardner also says some engineering jobs have failed to attract a single bidder. The council says a mediator has been called in to sort out the turmoil. Winemakers are looking forward to this year's vintage, with wineries reporting good fruit size and flavours for the 2022 harvest. Picking began over a month ago for the grapes from the sparkling wine variety. That style of wine requires lower sugar levels. And a fortnight ago, the harvest started for Pinot Noir grapes on the Bald Hills vineyard in Bendigo in Bannockburn. Wineries say stable weather over the season has contributed to a promising vintage. However, growers are still facing challenges around a shortage of overseas workers, combined with some workers having to self-isolate due to COVID-19. A Southland organisation is on a mission to knock out the long-term effects of concussion among sports players. The initiative is called Headache Clinic, and it's designed to help people across the country tackle the issue early, with most cases often preventable.
Getting tested for potential head injuries. Invercargill is the starting point of a new program aiming to knock out the effects of knockouts among sports people and athletes. The free event, called Test NZ Baseline, aims to help people avoid the potential long-term concussion syndrome from sports injuries. 24-year-old Southland Stags player Rory van Voot had a concussion 2 years ago, which took him out of play for 10 days.
I had one concussion, wasn't too bad. So I'm probably pretty lucky at this stage, but also pretty young and early in the career. So.
Van Voot's baseline test, showing his healthy function, is now on a national database. It can provide a reference point, reducing the risk of long-term brain damage should he have any future concussions.
Doing stuff like today is just gaining knowledge and whatnot on how to prevent and how to help yourself long-term.
Long-term head injuries are often preventable if athletes delay their return until their brain has fully recovered. Test NZ Baseline hopes to eventually roll out the program nationwide. In Invercargill, the South Today.
E whaia ake still to come on the South Today. Oamaru school children come up with new ways of solving the town's nesting gulls problem, and a travelling poet types up prose on the go as Dunedin's Fringe Festival winds up.
We're Aged Concerned Otago.
Aged Concerned Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including indoor walks.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Spark your joy with jazz, the next generation from Honda.
Oh there, guess who? Do you recognise the eyes? Oh okay, it's a haircut. Anyway, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores are carrying on as usual. Despite what's happening in the world, we have got some great stock for you. Personally, I've spent 50 years in this business and we have some excellent supplier relationships. We've got great stock, it's hand-picked, it's here, it's on time, and it's ready for this great summer.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So, as my favourite cut says, keep calm and carry on.
Every day the team at Gillian's supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
What have you got? Okay. Chicks World, party time, excellent. Love it. Chicks World. Chicks World.
Welcome back. Red-billed gulls are still an issue in Oamaru, with the birds continuing to build nests on rooftops in the centre of town. Now a group of school children are putting their computer coding classes to good use, creating robotic cats and sharks to try and scare the birds away.
This robotic cat on wheels with laser eyes is just one of a group of robots being built by pupils from St Joseph's School in Oamaru. The robots are designed to try and scare red-billed gulls off the rooftops in the centre of town, where the birds have been nesting and causing a mess. Over the past 5 years, Oamaru building owners and the council have exhausted several different options to try and discourage the birds from nesting, including roof edge spikes, ozone gas and laser lights. The school classes have tied in lessons about robotics and computer coding with talks on animal behaviour. The resulting creations also include this robotic shark which will open and shut its jaws and move its tail to ward the birds off. And this monster truck robot with spikes and lasers could perhaps drive around rooftops as a way of scaring the gulls away. The mechanics came from Hummingbird Robotics kits, with the pupils spending several days working on the programming of the robotic motions. In Oamaru, the South Today.
Dunedin's Fringe Festival wrapped up yesterday after 10 days of creatively entertaining audiences, both live and in person, and also online. A range of different art forms were catered for during the festival, including painting, performance and comedy. And one travelling poet took her skills and typewriter to the streets of Dunedin.
Have old school typewriter will create poetry for the public. Auckland-born Angelina Stanton has been writing impromptu street poems for the last decade and likes being creative without the use of modern technology.
Yeah, it's portable. There's a lot of portable typewriters that were made in the 60s and 70s that are pretty easy to carry. It can work without electricity. There's no electricity needed. I think it's a good machine for poetry because it's very honest.
Stanton had friends in the busking scene and always thought it was a great lifestyle, but wasn't quite sure what to do. She chose instant poetry as a way of entertaining people and potentially making a bit of money, writing about anything people throw at her.
So I write poems for people and Anybody can come and get a poem and must choose a topic, and it can be anything you like. It could be a word or a story or anything at all.
Being a typing street poet was her full-time gig for a few years in Melbourne before she moved back to Aotearoa, New Zealand to be with her whānau. It's been a while since she's taken her typewriter to the streets, but says it didn't take long to get back into the flow for Dunedin's Fringe Festival. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A young Queenstown woodturner is using his knowledge of magical-looking wands to turn a magical profit. 10-year-old Cameron Mullen-Bond has taken his two loves of Harry Potter and woodturning and is replicating some of the wands from the popular book and movie series.
At just 10 years old, young Cameron Mullen-Bond couldn't yet enter Hogwarts. But he's already creating wizarding wands in his parents' shot-over country garage. Cameron's dad, Steve, has had a woodturner's lathe for a number of years and is pleased to share his love of wood turning with his son. Even at his young age, Cameron can already sort out the wood from the trees.
This is oak, beech and reindeer. This is oak, another oak, oak and reindeer, and another reindeer.
His enthusiasm has been encouraged by his dad, who's connected him with the Otago Woodturners Guild. The talented youngster began selling his work as Cameron's wizarding wands recently and is now learning more advanced techniques like laminating. In Queenstown, the South Today.
FIR RKNA still to come on the South Today. Wanaka snowboarder Tian Collins makes history in Switzerland, and we look at what's ahead this week on the weather front.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
Livingwell Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
What have you got? Okay. Chicks World, party time, excellent.
Love it!
Chicks World. Chicks World. Right.
Welcome back. Wanaka's Tian Collins has made history as the first Kiwi snowboarder to win the FIS Snowboard Crystal Globe. Competing in Civilplana, Switzerland, Tian Collins put in a solid final performance to claim New Zealand's first ever FIS Snowboard Crystal Globe. Collins actually finished in just 7th place at the final slopestyle World Cup of the season overnight. However, his combined results from previous events this season meant he had enough points to score the overall slopestyle title for the season. Collins told media, "The result feels good. I'm stoked. It was a sick season." The 22-year-old won last weekend's slopestyle World Cup in the Czech Republic and had a 3rd place finish at the Mammoth Mountain Slopestyle World Cup in January. His result continues a golden run of results for Snow Sports NZ athletes, and with the season now over, Tian says it's time to go snowboarding. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Dame Jane Campion stars at the Oscars, winning the Best Director Award for The Power of the Dog and shining a spotlight on Otago. The Otago Regional Council is blaming undesirable media coverage for its struggle to attract new staff and contractors to the organisation. And a Southland organisation is on a mission to knock out the long-term effects of sports concussion, with most cases preventable if caught early. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome Associate Editor Joe Simpson.
Hi. The big debate about Three Waters, Mana Whenua looms at the DCC, and there's an update on the projects they have on hold.
Big meeting tomorrow.
Power of the Dog wins Best Director, but was nominated for 12 categories. This makes Campion the first woman to win the category twice.
Good news there.
With or without traffic light restrictions, businesses are struggling, while Southerners appear to be hesitant to join the crowds. A relaxation in COVID-19 restrictions means Anzac Day parades are able to be held around the southern region this year, but many organisers are asking with themselves, will anyone come? And the surfer who died at Aramoana on Saturday is being remembered as a family man, a DJ and a jack of all trades.
Very good, Joe. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation, a strong ridge of high pressure lies over the region today and will remain through the next few days, bringing a spell of fine weather. A cooler change and some showers will arrive late on Thursday. Heading to the Upper South Island, Nelson is set for a fine day tomorrow with a high of 21, fine with some cloud in Greymouth, also up to 21 degrees, and cloudy in Christchurch with fine breaks in the afternoon reaching 19 degrees. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns along the coast, Catlins can expect light nor'easterlies with some cloud and a high of 17 degrees. Belclutha, Lumsden, Gore are all in for fine weather with light winds and a high of 18 degrees. Travelling westwards to the southern lakes, Central Lakes area, Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra can look forward to fine weather with light winds and highs of 21 or 22 degrees. It'll be similar in Te Anau with a slightly cooler 18 degrees. Looking at the northern towns, Timaru and Oamaru are in for light winds with some cloud and highs of 17 and 18 degrees. It'll be warmer inland for Twizel and Omarama with fine weather, light winds and highs of 22 and 23 degrees. In Dunedin, there'll be some cloud developing tonight with light winds and overnight low of 11 degrees. Cloudy at first tomorrow with a period of southwesterlies, but cloud will start breaking during the afternoon with sunny periods increasing and nor'east winds developing. A high of 16, a low of 9 degrees. It'll be mostly fine and sunny on Wednesday with milder temperatures and breezy northeasterlies. A high of 18 and a low of 11 degrees. And in Invercargill, there'll be some cloud tonight with light wind and overnight low of 7. Fine tomorrow with long sunny periods and scattered light cloud. There'll be light winds and pleasant temperatures, a high of 16 and a low of 7 degrees. On Wednesday, it'll be warmer with sunshine and some high cloud, moderate northeast northerly winds developing, a high of 18 and a low of 12 degrees. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz, and you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.